Before we even open this file, you need to know about a specific document leaked decades after the music stopped. A private journal entry from a high society insider describing a hidden room, Room 81, where the surreal costumes were removed and something completely unexplainable took place. If you stay with me until the very end, I will reveal exactly what that insider witnessed in that room and how it connects a Hollywood masterpiece to a real-world tragedy. Don't look away. Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so utterly bizarre, that when you woke up, your reality felt like the actual lie? Now imagine waking up inside that dream, but you aren't alone. Surrounding you are the world's most powerful people, billionaires, prime ministers, Hollywood royalty, and they are all acting like the madness is completely normal. For decades, the global elite have gathered behind closed doors, away from the prying eyes of the public. We catch glimpses of their policies, their wealth, their institutions. But what happens when the masks they wear aren't metaphorical? What happens when the richest family on Earth invites the highest echelon of society to a gathering so macabre, so layered in occult symbolism, that it fundamentally rewrites what we know about power? We are talking about a night in 1972 that changed everything. A night where reality bled into the subconscious, and where a dark, psychological game was played on a scale you cannot even comprehend. Who were they playing with? And more importantly, what were they welcoming in? Let's travel back to France, December 1972. Imagine receiving an envelope. It's not paper, it's a mirror. To read the invitation, you have to hold it up to a reflective surface, deciphering backwards text that demands black tie, long dresses, and surrealist heads. Talk about an aggressive dress code, right? The hosts? None other than Guy and Marie-Hélène de Rothschild, members of a banking dynasty with enough wealth to influence entire nations. Rumors in Paris whispered that a prominent government official once threatened to end his own life if he didn't make the guest list. That is the level of desperate obsession we are dealing with. But the venue they chose wasn't just a luxury mansion. It was the Château de Ferrières, a colossal fortress surrounded by a 30-kilometer dark forest, featuring an underground train system just to transport food. But it has a darker history. During World War II, the invading forces used this exact castle as a brutal base of operations. And yet, 30 years later, it became the stage for a psychological playground. But real quick, if you love digging up these classified secrets with me, smash that subscribe button on YouTube and go follow my Instagram right now for daily leaks. If you want to support the file, check out my Buy Me a Coffee or Solana wallet below. Let's get back to the castle. When guests arrived at the chateau, the entire exterior was drenched in a blood red and deep orange light. Supposedly, it was just to mimic a surrealist sunset, but local archives from the Le Figaro Society pages in 1972 noted that the atmosphere felt heavy, almost suffocating. As you walked up the grand staircase, the servants weren't in tuxedos. They were dressed in black cat costumes, some littering the stairs pretending to sleep, others grooming each other. Once inside, the lights went out. The elite of the world had to navigate a literal pitch-black labyrinth of corridors, draped in black ribbons meant to simulate giant spider webs. If you got lost, a feline servant would silently guide you to the grand ballroom. And that's where the true bizarreness reveals itself. Marie-Hélène greeted her guests wearing an oversized stag's head made of pure silver, weeping tears made of real, flashing diamonds. Look at the historical photographs that survived. They are haunting. Audrey Hepburn, the darling of Hollywood, arrived with a golden birdcage locked over her entire head. Another high society woman wore a literal phonograph record player balanced on her skull. The iconic artist Salvador Dali was there, not wearing a costume because he claimed he was surrealism personified. In fact, historical records confirm Dali himself designed many of the masks for the banking elite that night. But let's talk about the dinner tables. This wasn't luxury dining. It was a psychological assault. According to archived menus and attendee memoirs, the plates were wrapped in dark, coarse animal fur. The centerpieces? Real stuffed tortoises locked in combat, and in other sections, broken, dismembered limbs of porcelain baby dolls scattered across the silver platters. The menu itself was a linguistic nightmare. Guests had to blindly order items like soupe extra lucide, cadavre exquis, lambeau de dame, and how was the food served? It was artfully arranged on top of life-sized, hyper-realistic naked mannequins made of wax, mimicking a human buffet. They called it art, but to any logical mind, it looked like a stylized, glorified mock ritual. Okay, let's be completely real for a second. The mainstream narrative loves to tell us this was just a harmless, eccentric party thrown by ultra-rich art lovers who had too much time and money on their hands. But I don't buy it, and honestly, neither should you. When you look at the symbolism, the labyrinth, the animal-human hybrids, the fake human sacrifices on the dining tables, this isn't just an appreciation for Salvador Dali. This is psychological conditioning. The elite use these isolated, highly secretive environments to blur the lines of morality, to desensitize themselves, and to mock the masses. It's a display of absolute control. They are showing that when you reach a certain level of global wealth, the laws of ordinary human behavior no longer apply to you. You enter the matrix of the truly unexplained. And for those of you who were curious and stayed until the very end, let's close that open loop about Room 81. Decades after that night, a private diary belonging to a prominent French aristocrat surfaced in a niche European auction. The entry from December 1972 detailed that deep within the labyrinth of the chateau, selected guests were brought into a completely closed-off room. Inside, there were no cameras, no art critics, and no laughter. The entry described a silent, solemn oath taken around a golden geometric altar, where the surrealist heads were removed to reveal an elite secret society ritual that heavily mirrors what director Stanley Kubrick tried to warn us about in his final film, Eyes Wide Shut. Kubrick notoriously studied the 1972 Rothschild photographs to design his movie, and as we all know, Kubrick tragically passed away under highly mysterious circumstances just days after delivering his final cut to the studio. Coincidence? No way. The truth is right there, hidden in plain sight. What do you think really happened in that castle? Drop your wildest theories below. Sending a huge hug straight to your heart, and may God bless you all so much. See ya in the next file. Bye-bye.